Now it's the turn of the really heavy artifact creatures. I mean, look at this. We're starting at 6 converted mana cost CMC. You've got on the left a Mirrodam Besieged Rhino, Razor Field Rhino. And you've got an Arachnoid from 5th Dawn, uncommon. The Rhino is a common. 4/4, but it gets +2/+2 from Metalcraft, which I think is pretty good. Hopefully by the time you get to play this artifact creature, you would have other artifacts on the battlefield if you're running an artifact deck. Then in the case of Arachnoid, it's a little close to a wall at 2/6, but it may block as though it had flying. I don't understand if that's different from just having flying. Maybe this is an old description of Reach. I'd like to research that. It looks like that's how Reach used to be described in cards. Got more heavies. Lots of heavies in this Mirrodam block as far as artifact creatures are concerned. Sawtooth Thresher is a 5th Dawn common, and then Gemini Engine is a Darksteel rare. Anytime I see a card at rare that has a thick paragraph like the one that Gemini Engine has, I just think, junk rare. So let's look at Thresher first. It's got Sunburst, which means that the most you'll ever get out of it is a 5/5. But it already comes with a 1/1, so you could make it 6/6 if you had 5 different colors that you played it with. And then, of course, you could get rid of 2 of the counters, and then it would get +4/+4. Then, in the case of Gemini Engine, again, whenever I read these long paragraphs, you have to really think about the rare. Usually, a junk rare fits a very unique part of the game plan. So you would have to put an attacking twin artifact creature token into play. Its power is equal to Gemini Engine's power, and its toughness is equal to Gemini Engine's toughness. That doesn't seem too bad. That means you get 2 creatures that are each 3/4 in the battlefield. It'd be nice if this card wasn't too expensive and online I could play it and check it out. Gemini Engine sounds interesting. Oxida Golem is a Darksteel common, and so is Spire Golem. Here we have cards that have affinity for a specific type of mana. And so Oxida Golem has affinity for mountains. Clearly, you probably want to maximize if you play this card and drop it into a red only, a mono deck. A red mono deck, maybe a red deck wins kind of card. But at 6, actually it wouldn't fit a red deck wins. It would have to be some sort of a slower red deck, which I don't really get the value of making slow red decks. And then in the case of Spire Golem, that's different because if it's got affinity for islands, blue decks are usually slow. And so that would make more sense to me. Comes in as a 2/4, but if you can drop it at, say, like a 2, you've got yourself a pretty good defender that can do a little attacking along the way as well. Here are 2 more Arcbounds, both uncommons from Darksteel. The Fiend has the artwork that is on the theme deck that I think I pulled this one from. Or if not, at least I've seen it in one of the theme decks that I opened. So the Fiend on the Lancer, as typical with Arcbound artifact creatures, comes in at 0/0. The Fiend has modular 3, which effectively means that it's 6/6 if you are able to use the 3/3 and then collect the 3/3 as scavenge when the thing dies. Interestingly, the Lancer has a similar casting. You know, it's 4/4, so you get 8 out of it if you played it all the way. The Fiend has Fear, which is really Intimidate, and the Lancer has First Strike. They seem pretty good. It's just that they're a little heavy, so having all those abilities late in the game don't matter much if you've got 3 life and you're about to get killed. Goblin Dirigible, I've looked at this card. It looks very pretty. I like it, but it seems very much unusable. I'm not understanding it. Because you have to pay 4 just to keep the thing from constantly tapping itself. So that's pretty heavy. Then here we have Tango Golem, which has affinity for forests. And that seems pretty good. I'd love to play this card. I'd love to play some affinity cards online, see how they work out. I mean, it'd be great to play Tango Golem at 0/0. I mean, for 0 casting cost at least once. Then you've got Pentavus, which has been reprinted in a core set, if I remember correctly. I think I've got the same card in Magic 2012. Generates tokens when you remove counters from it. And then you've got the 2 big ones at the very end of the range, at least for the selection that I have in this cube, are Suncrusher at 9 and Lunar Avenger at 7. Both have some burst, which means that the most you're ever going to be able to add to it is 5/5. That means you can be dropping an 8/8 for 9. That's really good. That sounds like a really good deal. Then you can lose one of the counters after paying 4, and you can destroy target creature with Suncrusher. That also seems useful. Both 5th Dawn, the Suncrusher is a rare, and the Avenger is an uncommon. These both look like really playable cards, because in the case of Avenger, you can remove a counter, and you gain a choice of you can pick from Flying, First Strike, or Haste. That seems pretty good. Although you're only starting with a 2/2, you better play all 5 colors, in which case you get a 7/7. But you'd have to have a really good mana base to run something like a Suncrusher or an Avenger. But these are very playable cards, it looks like. I'd love to try them out now that I've read their abilities. So let's do a little rewind for the ones that we just shown. So that's 2, 4, I think I counted 13 in this group. 6, 8. Gotta play some of these affinity cards, see how they hack out. 10, 12, sure enough, yeah, 13. There we go.